Do you qualify for the $1,200 stimulus payment? In this video, I go over the 4 most important questions related to qualifying for the stimulus payment. And lastly, a great strategy if you haven't filed your 2019 tax return yet. So stick around. Hey everyone, Steve Lee here with simpleetax. The Senate just passed a historic $2 trillion economic stimulus package in response to the coronavirus pandemic. At the center of the economic stimulus package are direct payments to Americans. Let's go over the 4 most important questions related to those stimulus payments and if you qualify. And at the very end, I'll go over a special bonus tip for those of you who have not filed for 2019 just yet. Number 1, are you eligible for the $1,200 stimulus payment? You're going to need to refer to either your 2018 or 2019 personal income tax return or the Form 1040. Whichever the two that you filed most recently, the IRS is going to look at the most recently filed tax return, either 2018 or 2019. And on that return, they're going to base it off of 4 different criteria. The first one is you cannot be claimed as a dependent by another person. The second is you must have a work-eligible Social Security number. Number 3 is what is the filing status of that return that you filed most recently? And number 4 is what is the total income reported on that tax return? Okay, so we have you cannot be claimed as a dependent of another person. Number 2, you must have a work-eligible Social Security number. Number 3, the filing status, whether you're single, head of household, married filing jointly. Or number 4, what was the total income you reported on that most recently filed tax return in 2018 or 2019, the most recent of the 2. For income is going to be defined as the adjusted gross income, also known as AGI. For those of you whose most recently filed tax return is 2018, you can find the total AGI on page 2 of your Form 1040 on line number 7. For those of you whose most recently filed income tax return is 2019, you can find your total AGI on page 1 of the Form 1040 on line 8B, B as in boy, line 8B, page 1 of your Form 1040. There are, however, limits to who qualifies for a stimulus payment. If you filed as a single individual and your income or your AGI was above $99,000, then you don't qualify for the stimulus payment. If you filed as married filing jointly and your income or your AGI was above $198,000, then you don't qualify for any of the stimulus payment if you filed without children. Okay, so for single individuals, if you exceed $99,000 of AGI, then you don't qualify. For married filing jointly with no children, if your AGI exceeded $198,000, then you don't qualify, unfortunately, for the stimulus payment. Number 2 is when can you expect the stimulus payment to arrive? There are many different sources and many different dates being thrown around out there. Some sources say the stimulus payments should be received within 3 weeks of President Trump signing the bill, which should be within the next few days. Some other sources have even quoted April 6th as the date when the payments will be issued. But based on historical stimulus payments that have been made in the past, I would say that the conservative bet is within or about 2 months, okay, from the date of signing. Number 3 is how do you expect to receive the payment? For those of you who gave the IRS your bank account information for, let's say, direct deposits for tax refunds or direct debits for taxes due, you should expect your stimulus payment, if you qualify, as a direct deposit from the IRS. For those of you who did not give your bank account information, you should expect the payment to come in the form of a paper check by mail. So the most important thing is to make sure that the mailing address of your most recently filed tax return, if you did not give your bank account information to the IRS, is up to date. If it isn't, there'll be a contact number that you can call the IRS to make sure that information is up to date so that they can send the stimulus payment to the correct address. So make sure that address is correct and up to date with the IRS if the IRS does not have your bank account information. Number 4 is, will the stimulus payments be taxable? The answer is no. So when you file your 2020 personal income tax return, and if you are eligible and you received a stimulus payment, you do not need to include it as income when you file your tax return. So no, the stimulus payments will not be taxable. If you haven't filed your 2019 income tax return just yet, hold off a little bit longer. And the reason why I say that is you want to check to see if your unfiled 2019 tax return qualifies you for the stimulus payment. If it doesn't, or you only get a partial amount based on your filing status, look at your 2018 already filed tax return to see if the qualification for the stimulus payment is higher or more in 2018 versus 2019. Okay, because remember, the IRS is going to look at your most recently filed income tax return. So if your 2019 income or AGI was higher than 2018, hold off before filing. Okay, remember the new filing deadline for 2019 tax returns was pushed to July 15th. So you have some more time, okay? So remember to check your 2018 income level and filing status and compare that with your unfiled 2019 filing status and income level, okay? And if your 2019 income disqualifies you for 100% of the stimulus payment or only a partial compared to 18, hold off on filing your 2019 income tax return just yet so that you will be eligible for a larger stimulus payment when those are issued out, okay? So remember, if you have not filed your 2019 tax return just yet, check what it would be, your tax bill or your AGI would be for 2019, see how much you qualify for the stimulus payment, and if it's not 100% or a partial amount, compare that to what you would receive if the IRS only has your 2018 tax return on file, okay? So remember to compare the two if you haven't filed for 2019 just yet. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to share this video with all your friends and family and those of you who know could benefit from this information, because there's a lot of information out there floating around and it's really hard to cut through all the noise. And remember to subscribe to the simpleetax channel on YouTube and to hit that thumbs up button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time, and please be safe out there.